It's June 20th, 2024, the first day of summer, and this is your weekly news update from The Reporter, Delaware County's leading news source. I'm Andrew Cantor, bringing you some of the hot news, so I shouldn't say hot. Here are the top stories this week. This episode is sponsored by Decker Advertising, the one-stop shop for all your business and promotional needs, from logo design and custom clothing to screen printing, lawn signs, banners, decals, car wraps, and much more. Call today for your free estimate and see how Decker Advertising can help you. The number is 607-746-2178, or you can visit dckr.com. And now the news. There are some transformative plans in the works for the former Kellogg Elementary School in Treadwell, now owned by Jonah Shaw. What's the furthest thing from an... You try saying that. What's the furthest thing from an elementary school you can think of? How about a multi-purpose facility that includes a meat and fish processing business, a cannabis processing center, and an event retreat center with guest rooms, hopefully not near the fish processing? Well, that's what Shaw envisions, and as you might imagine, there are some, we'll call them, regulatory ambiguities. But that's his plan, and the reporter will be covering the public hearing on July 3rd, where that plan will be up for discussion. If you thought you could keep barreling through Delhi at 30 miles an hour, think again. On June 17th, Delhi trustees changed the speed limit throughout the village to 25 miles per hour in response to resident advocacy and a public hearing. A study by the New York State Department of Transportation found that reducing the speed really wasn't necessary, but the residents and trustees wanted the slowdown anyway, so the new speed limit is now in effect. The new foster care visitation center in Delhi is progressing nicely, according to Acting Delaware County Social Services Commissioner Keith Weaver. The center, located at 163 to 165 Main Street, will serve as a space for parents and their children in foster care to visit and get the kind of education that foster families need. Weaver also proposed dedicating the center to late DSS Commissioner Sylvia Armano to honor her vision and her contributions. Armano died in May. While we're talking about the Department of Social Services, the DSS's main office in Delhi was getting overcrowded, so the agency has renovated a satellite office in Walton that it's calling DSS South. It's hoping to move 5 to 8 employees there. That hasn't been going smoothly. DSS's Keith Weaver said there have been a bunch of logistical hurdles, including desks on backorder and a lack of internet service in the building. At the same time, DSS is concerned about high staff turnover, a tight overtime budget, and challenges in foster care and special education placements. But there is hope. The Delhi Department of Public Works has extra desks, and DSS is working with local agencies to promote its job openings. DSS is also looking at other sources of funding to ease the financial strain. A few new public officials were appointed to various village and town boards throughout Delaware County. Brian Butts was sworn in as a council member for the town of Masonville. Jake Palmatier and Julie Hills-Seacrest were appointed to fill vacant positions in the Stamford Town Council, and Eric Northrup became a new trustee for the village of Walton. Now, June is Pride Month, but it's also Dairy Month, and the reporter continues to celebrate that and to feature Delaware County dairy farms and the entire industry. Check out this week's issue for Delaware County's own Dairy Ambassador's recipe for mini cheesecakes and find out what the dairy promotion team has been up to. And now we turn to Looking Back. News from the reporter 100 years ago this week.
Deposit girls borrow car and go to Bainbridge. Last week, 3 Deposit high school girls of this place, full of determination, decided that they would witness a game of ball between the local high school team and Bainbridge High School 9. Without the aid of a chauffeur, chaperone, parents, or license, they took a cheap car belonging to one of our townsmen, and, as one of the girls had driven a car a few times, she took the wheel in her hand, turned on the gas, and they proceeded on their way cross-country by the dirt road to Bainbridge. The owner of the car procured 2 constables and proceeded without a warrant to bring the girls back, fearing that some accident might befall them. They found the girls all right, enjoying the game. They brought them back to Judge George W. Flower on a complaint of petit larceny. The judge, after explaining to them the nature of the crime they had committed and receiving from each of them the promise to never do such a thing again, suspended sentence and let the girls go home.
Back now in 2024, there's plenty more to read in this week's issue of The Reporter. For example, how ATV riders are behaving badly in Stamford, why Boy Scouts in Unadilla were burning the flag, and of course, weather words with Frank Ward to find out if and when this heat wave will end. And that's just some of what you'll find in this week's Reporter. To get all the news that matters to you and your Delaware County community, subscribe to The Reporter at the-reporter.net or call 607-464-4009. We'll see you next week.